Have you ever noticed that your mind can take one tiny worry and turn it into a full blown disaster movie? Complete with, sound effects, plot twist, and definitely no happy ending. That's catastrophic thinking. And if you've ever lived with a covert narcissist, you probably know that movie by heart. You know the feeling I'm talking about. You're sitting there just trying to relax, but your brain just won't let you. Your brain is spiraling with thoughts like, oh, hey, what if all this falls apart? What if I can't do this on my own? What if they walk in angry tonight? What if I say the wrong thing? What if this calm moment doesn't last? What if they never change and I'm stuck like this forever? What if I'm the problem after all? What if everyone believes their version of the story? What if I never feel normal again? That's the loop of catastrophic thinking. Your brain's alarm system is stuck on overdrive. And if you've ever lived through covert narcissistic abuse, it makes perfect sense why this happens. Now, for some of you listening, this came from a spouse. Years of walking on eggshells in a home where love felt conditional, kindness felt temporary, and peace always had strings attached and always seemed to be just out of reach. For others, maybe this began in childhood, growing up with a narcissistic parent who made safety unpredictable and love very confusing, especially for a child. Either way, your nervous system learned the same message. Stay alert because calm never lasts. So today we're going to talk about why catastrophic thinking takes root, how to recognize it, and the tools that you can use to calm that inner alarm system. Welcome back to the Covert Narcissism podcast, where we untangle the thoughts that keep you on high alert and learn how to live in peace again, one calm breath at a time. Now, catastrophic thinking is not a flaw in your character. I think a lot of people do think that it is, but it's not. It's a survival strategy. It's a protective measure. You see, when you live with a covert narcissist, whether it was a partner or a parent or anyone else within your home, you spend years navigating unpredictable emotional weather. One moment, the skies are calm. They're affectionate, maybe even charming. Maybe cooperative. But then, without warning, the storm rolls in. You never know what triggered it, but suddenly you're being accused, blamed, ignored, or guilted. Over time, your nervous system learns that peace is temporary and that danger is what is constant. That's what your brain concludes. So your brain starts saying, if I can just anticipate the storm, then maybe I can control it. Maybe I can contain it. Maybe I can survive it. Well, this becomes hypervigilance, and I've talked about that on the podcast before. It's the body's way of scanning for safety all the time. And when that becomes your normal, anything that feels uncertain starts to feel like danger. So we confuse discomfort for danger because discomfort always meant danger or the risk of danger within our home. And when you finally do leave that environment or begin setting boundaries with that person in your life, your body doesn't instantly relax. It's not like, oh, now I got it. And your system settles down. No, it's more like the guard dog that doesn't know the intruder is gone. So, the intruder has left, but the dog is still on high alert. The dog is still reacting to every sound because the danger was present. The danger was real. And that's why you might find yourself, catastrophizing about things that don't necessarily warrant it. It might not logically make sense. For example, a delayed text. Somebody doesn't respond to a text, but you conclude that means someone's angry. A quiet weekend when you get to spend a weekend alone, and that could be a positive, but instead you're feeling unlovable. A new relationship. Oh man, that can send off all kinds of warning systems and catastrophic thinking inside you because it means you're about to get hurt again. It's not that you've lost your mind. It's that your mind is still trying to keep you safe. Your mind is still looking for the danger. Now, here's maybe a helpful way to think about it. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between danger and discomfort. Okay, your nervous system can't tell that difference, especially when you've already dealt with covert narcissistic abuse, because what would be a normal discomfort in a relationship, in a healthy relationship, it brings repair. And so it actually builds trust. But in a covert narcissistic relationship, it brings danger because it brings blaming and guilting and more emotional distance. And so your nervous system just learns to equate discomfort with danger. So now, when you feel uncertain, even about something that's neutral, your body reacts as if your life is at risk. That's why your heart races, your stomach flips, your thoughts speed up, and suddenly you're mentally living through 10 different disasters that haven't even happened. You are trying to emotionally pre live pain so that you can avoid it or so that you can handle it better. It's your body's way of saying, well, if I feel it now, then maybe it won't hurt as much later. But all it really does is actually make you live the pain twice or more, depending on how many times you replay it. You're replaying it in your imagination, and so you're living it over and over and over. And then again, if it ever actually does happen in reality. So I want to give you some tools to use to help stop this catastrophic thinking. And the very first one might sound silly, but that's kind of exactly why it works. Okay. Tool number one is a Mickey Mouse makeover. So let's talk about this. And I know it sounds silly, but that's the point. When your catastrophic inner voice starts up, okay, that panicky, all caps narrator that's screaming, it's all falling apart. I want you to give it a Mickey Mouse voice. So now you're going to imagine this high pitched cartoon voice saying, it's all falling apart. And it's the Mickey Mouse voice. Okay, here's that Mickey Mouse voice that goes, oh no, they didn't text back. I guess it's the end of the world. I guess they hate me. You'll probably find yourself laughing, but that's the point. In that laugh, your nervous system just got a reset. Because fear, listen to this, fear thrives on seriousness. The moment you inject absurdity, fear loses its power. You're not mocking your pain. You're breaking the trance that comes from catastrophic thinking. When your brain is in survival mode, it believes whatever voice sounds the most urgent. Okay, so when you're in survival mode and your voice inside of you that is serious and replaying all the catastrophic thinking, and that voice is full of fear, your brain is going to hang on to that. It's going to cling to whichever voice sounds the most urgent. So if that catastrophic voice sounds like Mickey Mouse, if it sounds ridiculous, well, it stops running the show. Try it the next time your thoughts spiral. Make them sound ridiculous on purpose. You can even give your catastrophic voice a name, like, oh, there's Nervous Nellie again, narrating the apocalypse. Humor is one of trauma's antidotes. It tells your brain, hey, we're safe enough to laugh. Tool number two, I call it facts versus fears. You see, once you've broken the spell, you can bring logic back online. So break the spell with tool number one, that Mickey Mouse voice, but then stop and ask, okay, what are the facts and what are the fears? Here's an example. You text your friend and they don't respond for 2 days. Well, your brain starts the dialogue. They're mad at me. I said something wrong. I knew it. I shouldn't have shared that story. I ruined every friendship. And down we go in catastrophic thinking. Well, stop. Pause. Take a breath. And now separate the facts from the fears. The fact, they haven't responded yet. Okay, fine. That's a fact. But the fear is that they're mad at me or that they've abandoned me. You need to write these down. Take a moment and stop and write it down. What are the facts and what are the fears? Those fears might feel real, but see them for what they are. They're stories, not evidence. And often those stories were actually written long ago, maybe by a parent who punished you with silence or with shame, maybe by a partner who used distance as control. You see, when you see these even on paper, it becomes easier to spot the difference. Writing them down creates a pause, and it's in that pause where peace begins to grow. Tool number 3 is the what if to even if shift. Now, one of our CNG community members actually recently shared something that I just thought, wow, this is brilliant. She said, I started changing every what if into an even if. And I love that so much. What if keeps you trapped in fear? Even if puts you back in power. That one word, just changing that one word. So instead of saying, what if everything falls apart? You can say, even if everything falls apart, I'll figure it out. Instead of, what if they smear me again? You can say, even if they smear me again, I will stay grounded in my truth. Instead of saying, what if my kids don't understand right now? You can say, even if my kids don't understand right now, my consistency will show them over time. That one word changes everything. It doesn't deny reality, but it does remind you of your capacity. And the really cool part about this is your body believes your words. So when you say, what if, it braces for impact. Your body tightens up and goes into that survival mode. But when you say, even if, it exhales. It relaxes. It starts trusting your own strength. Whether you learned this fear as a child or as an adult, this simple reframing exercise teaches your nervous system that you're no longer powerless, but you're very capable. Tool number 4 is the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding reset. I've talked about this before on the podcast, and I've used it in different ways. Sometimes catastrophic thinking becomes very physical. Okay, you feel like your body is just about to explode because your body is preparing yourself for battle. Your heart pounds, your breathing gets shallow, and your body floods with adrenaline. That is your fight or flight system, in which we've talked about, and it is saying incoming, and it's loading you up for these catastrophes that are in your head because none of them exist in reality. So you can use the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Name 5 things that you can see. I know you can probably see 100 things in front of you right this minute. Well, name 5. Isolate them. Look at 5. 4 things that you can touch. 3 things that you can hear. 2 things that you can smell. And 1 thing that you can taste or imagine tasting if you don't have anything with you right now. This technique anchors you back in the present moment, out of the future that your mind is imagining. You can't catastrophize and be fully grounded at the same time. Like, you just can't do it. Try this anywhere, in your car, in your bed, during a panic moment at work. It is an easy one to do, no matter where you are, and it brings your body back to now. Tool number 5 is to talk to your inner protector. So, catastrophic thinking is often your inner protector's voice. It's that part of you that says, if I imagine every possible disaster, then maybe I can prevent it. But you don't need to silence that voice, okay? This is another approach that you could use. You can actually just talk to it. Talk to it as though you would to your own friend beside you. You can say, hey, protector, I see you. You've done your job so well for so long, and you have kept me safe. But I want to think through this one now. I want to talk through this one now because I think I've got a different perspective now. If you grew up with a narcissistic parent, that protector might have shown up when you were only 5 years old. That protector's been with you for a long time. That little version of you who learned to anticipate the mood swings and emotional storms before they started, and you didn't even have a clue what was going on. If you've lived with a covert narcissistic spouse, that same protector probably stood guard through years of blame and confusion. Either way, that part of you deserves compassion, not criticism. This is not about criticizing because that would just bring more shame and judgment. No, you're not broken. You're just overprotected. Now you're the adult version of you. You're not that little child anymore. Even if this was your partner, you're not even the same person you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. You are now more aware, more educated, more, able to stay present and observe and see what's going on. You get to make choices now. So you can reassure that inner protector, hey, thank you for keeping me safe, but you can rest now. I think I've got this one. And over time, the more you speak to it with kindness, not judgment, the less power it has to hijack your peace. Tool number 6, rehearse peace, not disaster. Our brains love rehearsal. Think about it. They think through things over and over and over, sometimes before something. So we're rehearsing what we're going to say, rehearsing what we're going to do. And then it also loves the rehearsal after, where we're replaying everything, the ruminating that happens. Now, your body cannot tell the difference between imagination and experience. If you spend hours mentally rehearsing catastrophe, imagining the argument, the rejection, the worst case outcome, your body lives through it as though it's actually happening. Listen to what I'm saying here. Your body can't tell the difference between experience and imagination. So every time you go down that path of catastrophic thinking, your body prepares for battle. But you can use that same wiring in a good direction. You can use it for healing. When you catch yourself rehearsing disaster, redirect this and start rehearsing peace. For example, instead of imagining yourself losing control in an argument and what if I start reacting and I get all angry? No, picture yourself staying calm and grounded. Start rehearsing that. Instead of imagining your ex manipulating the kids, picture yourself responding to the kids with clarity and grace and love and unconditional love, compassion. Visualize your strength. Practice the moments that you want to live, not the ones that you fear. This is how we reprogram a trauma-wired brain, by giving it new evidence that safety is possible. So when you catch yourself on that path of catastrophic thinking, I want you to stop and come up with what you can rehearse that is peaceful. What is the peaceful option here? What is and I mean peaceful for you, that you stayed grounded, that you stayed, present and able to make choices without being in fight or flight mode. Rehearse the peaceful side of that. Catastrophic thinking doesn't just steal your peace, it steals your presence. It makes you live your life 5 steps ahead, but never fully in the moment that you're actually in. You can be on a walk surrounded by beauty, and your mind is catastrophizing about next week's court date or your mother's next criticism. That's not your fault. It's years of residue, okay? This is years of living in survival mode and reaction mode. But every time you notice it, it's time to bring yourself back. It's time to reclaim a piece of your own life. Healing is not about never spiraling again. It's about spiraling less deeply, catching yourself sooner, recovering faster, and remember that you are in charge of this volume dial in your head. Now, let's be real. Sometimes you're just tired of all the overthinking, tired of your brain, tired of your thoughts, tired of yourself. And you might think, I should be better by now. Why am I still like this? But I want you to understand something, and please hear me. You're not behind. You are unwinding years and sometimes decades of mental conditioning. You spent years being told that your feelings were overreactions, your instincts were wrong, your fears were irrational, and now your brain doesn't know which thoughts are safe to trust. It's time to rebuild that trust, but it takes time. So when your catastrophic thoughts come, don't shame yourself. Just say, oh, I see you. You're that old survival habit, but we're doing things differently now. That simple self-talk turns panic into progress. Now let's put all of these tools into one flow here. Number 1 is to notice the spiral. Number 2 is give it that Mickey Mouse voice. Number 3 is name the facts versus the fears. Number 4, reframe what if to even if. Number 5, ground yourself with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 6, talk to your inner protector. And number 7, rehearse peace. Each time you use one of these tools, you are literally rewiring your brain, shifting it from survival to safety, from panic to peace. That's healing. It's not instant, but it's real. Catastrophic thinking does not mean you're broken. It means your brain learned how to survive chaos. whether that chaos came from a covertly abusive partner or a parent. You did what you had to do to survive. But now you get to teach your brain something new: peace. Peace doesn't come from predicting every possible disaster. It comes from trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way. It's the quiet confidence that says, I don't have to control everything in order to be okay. You are not that scared version of yourself anymore. You are the one rebuilding safety from the inside out, breath by breath, boundary by boundary, truth by truth. Peace is not the absence of noise. It's the soft knowing that you can sit inside the noise and still be okay. It's the moment you catch a thought mid-spiral and whisper, no, not today. It's the slow unwinding of a mind that finally believes safety is possible. You are retraining your brain one gentle moment at a time. You are allowed to stop preparing for the storm and start noticing the sunlight. You do deserve calm inside your own mind. And as always, I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson, Covert Narcissism Podcast, and CNG Life Coaching is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes. It is not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. Renee shares stories from her personal experience as well as from those that she has worked with for several years. Her material does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or support a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and the information provided. Thank you.